This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in yesterday's session, we discussed about that what is the Jenkins, right? So what are the continuous integration, continuous delivery, and benefits of continuous integration. Then what are the different various continuous integration tools? What is the benefits of Jenkins if we are going to use, and how to install? All these things we discussed, right? So today what we are going to do, I hope everyone has installed this Jenkins server. Na? See, Jenkins server is running. So anybody is facing issue? No, right? It's very simple, na? Installing Jenkins. Okay. So today what we are going to do, we are going to create a one job in the Jenkins and we are going to implement this first DevOps flow. So we are going to integrate the GitHub, Maven, then SonarKube, Nexus, Tomcat. We are going to integrate all these things and we are going to configure that some deploy this automate build trigger process also. As soon as developer puts the code, so automatically job has to trigger. So all these things we are going to discuss. So for that one, first you have to SonarKube server, right? Jenkins server, Nexus server, Tomcat server has to be up and running. If you see, already in my case, SonarKube server is running, right? So let me log in. Okay, and Nexus server is running, Tomcat server is running. So right now, if you see, the applications are deployed, right? So I'm going to undeploy it. I'm going to undeploy it. So right now, if you see, only the 5 default applications are there. Okay, so other applications are undeployed. So now what we are going to do, we'll go to that Jenkins dashboard and we are going to create a job. So for that one, if you see here, left side top corner, you will see that new item. Click on this new item and give the job name. So what is the naming conventions which we are going to follow? Usually for the jobs, the job name. Okay, so project name is job name. So Facebook hyphen environment name. Facebook hyphen environment name. Usually this is the naming conventions which we are going to follow while creating a job. So first we'll go with the freestyle. Select the freestyle. Then click on OK. Right. So once if you click on OK, it will come into that updated view. There you have to give that all the details. Right. Here I'm going to give that the description. So this is not a mandatory. Okay. You can give that whatever the description if you want. Right. Suppose this job is going to do that end-to-end automation for the Facebook application dev environment. So like that, this description if you want you can give, or it is optional also. Even if you don't give also, no issue at all. So scroll down. See, we'll discuss about all these options later. In this flow, if you observe here, what is the step? First step after pushing the code, we need to get the code from the GitHub repository. So for that one, here under source code management, you'll see here Git is there, another one is none is there. So if you want to get the code from GitHub repository, which one we need to select? We are going to select the Git, right? Suppose if you want to get the code from GitLab or Bitbucket, which option we need to select? Git only. So guys, for GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, select this Git only. Suppose if you want to get the code from SVN, which option we need to select? So we have to select that SVN, but right now it is not showing that SVN. Why? Because the SVN plugin is not installed. Okay, SVN plugin, you have to install it. Then only can able to see here that SVN. So like that, based on the requirement, you can install that plugins and you can use it. So by default, it is going to show that Git. Why? Did you remember yesterday when we are installing Jenkins, we selected that install suggested plugins. So that time this Git plugin has installed. Okay. So now what I am going to do? I am going to select that Git. Here, see, it is asking that repository URL. So from which repository we need to get the code? Take that repository URL. Go here. So this is our organization. Here you will see that repositories. So I need to do that end-to-end automation for this particular repository. So take this code, take this repository URL. So take the HTTPS URL, go here and give that URL. If you see here, we are getting this error. Okay, so what we have to do? See, you are giving this GitHub repository URL, you are configuring GitHub repository URL in the Jenkins server. So from the Jenkins, if you want to get the code, it is going to execute some Git commands, right? So those Git commands are not there in the, those Git software is not installed in the Linux server where Jenkins is installed. So that's why we can able to see this error. So the solution for this error is install the Git in the Linux server where your Jenkins is installed. Right? Just save it. Okay. So if you go to the dashboard, see this is one job which we created. Okay. This is the job which we created. So now what we are going to do? We'll go to that. We'll connect to that Linux server where Jenkins is installed. And we are going to install the Git there, right? So go to the folder where your EC2PM files are there. Okay, so we have connected. Switch it to the root user. So here, if you check that Git is installed or not, it is not there. See, it is showing that Git command not found. Okay, so we are going to install. Installing Git is very simple. Yum install Git -y. Right. So Git has installed now successfully. So if you go to that job now, okay. So if you go to that job, click on this job. Now, so if you want to update the existing configurations, you have to click on this configure. Okay. So click on this configure. Okay. Just scroll down. See, now can you able to see this error, that error? No, we are not able to see. Why? Because we have installed that Jenkins. We have installed the Git. Okay. So Dharmendra is asking, by default, Git will install in Ubuntu while installing Jenkins? No, it is not going to install. Okay. So we have to install that Git explicitly. So suppose if it is a private repository, whatever we are giving that private repository URL in the Jenkins, whatever we are configuring this URL, this repository, it might be private repository. That time, without credentials, can you able to get it? No. Then we need to give the credentials. So if you see here under drop down, it is showing that none. What to do? Click on add Jenkins. So then give the username here. So GitHub credentials you have to give. So my GitHub username is DevOps Training Bangalore, BLF, and password. Give some password. Okay, and a description you can give that GitHub credentials. Click on add. Okay, so now under drop down in credential section, you will see that user. Okay, yes, so that there you have to give the PAT only. Okay, so anyway, it is not going to take that password. I have given that PAT only. Even if you don't give anything also now, it is going to work. But I'm showing that how to give that credentials. How to give the credentials. Yes, you have to give that PAT only. It is not going to take that password. Already we know that one. Right. Then see if you observe here, by default, it is going to take from the master branch. Okay. So once if you give that repository URL, by default, it is going to take from master branch. Are we going to deploy the code to the master branch to that dev environment? So if you want to deploy code to the dev environment, from which branch we are going to take? We are going to take from development branch. So you have to give that correctly, this branch name. If you don't give the branch name correctly, you are going to get the error. Right. So now we have configured the GitHub repository details. Now we are going to configure the Maven. Okay. So for that one, just scroll down. You will see under build section, under build, click on add build step. You will see here invoke top level Maven targets. Invoke top level Maven targets. Right. So here you will see that invoke Gradle. So if your project having Gradle as a build script, we are going to use this one. Suppose your project having and as a build script, invoke and. Using the Jenkins, we can execute the shell scripts also. That time we are going to use this execute shell. So if you want, you can run that PowerShell also. So that time you can select that execute Windows batch command. Right. So based on your requirement, you can select it. So now I want to run the Maven targets. Select this one. So here, if you want to create a package, what is the goal we are going to use? Clean and package. So the package goal we are going to use to create a package. Right. So here, just specify that only the goal names. Don't specify that mvn command. You don't want to mention that mvn because already we specified invoke top level maven targets. Invoke top level maven targets. Just specify that goal names, right? So okay, first let's go with that these two steps. Click on save. Click on save. Okay. So if you see here, this is the job. I have created one job with GitHub integration and Maven. So if you want to run this job, very simple. Click on build now. Once if you click on build now, what will happen? So if you see, we got some error. So if you observe guys here, it is showing that red color and it is starting with the build number 1. Click on this one and click on console output. Observe here, it went to that, so started by Mithun Technologies user this job. It went to the GitHub, it got the code. So it got the code from development branch. When it is executing mvn clean package, when it is executing mvn clean package, we are getting that error. What do you mean by this error? Maven not installed. Right, mvn command not found means Maven not installed. So if you go and see in this Linux server, mvn version, see, Maven is not installed. Maven is not installed. Right. What we have to do? We have to install that Maven. Okay. Suppose I'm going to install that Maven 3.8.2. So in the Linux server, suppose assume another job, it is using that 3.8.4. One job is using 3.8.2. So for that job, it is fine, whatever we have installed. But other job is using the 3.8.4. Another job is using that 3.6.4. So then how we are going to install multiple versions of Maven software? It is very difficult, right? If you, so at a time we can able to install only one Maven version in the Jenkins server. Right. So then how we can achieve this requirement now? See, in the Jenkins we can create n number of jobs. Some jobs are going to use 3.8.4, some jobs are going to use 3.8.2. So in that case, we are going to configure the Maven softwares directly in the Jenkins itself. You can configure n number of Jenkins Maven versions in the Jenkins. How to do that one? Very simple. Click on Manage Jenkins, and if you see here, Global Tool Configuration. Global Tool Configuration. Click on this Global Tool Configuration. Okay, just scroll down. If you see here, Maven. Click on Add Maven. Click on Add Maven. So here you can give any name. So I am going to install 3.8.5. So you can give that Maven 3.8.5. Okay. See, if you want, you can install manually also. So that time you can uncheck this one. So you have to give that path. So you can download that Maven software and you can give that path. Right. So if you want to install automatically, select this checkbox and select whatever version. So like that you can add one more Maven version. Click on Maven. So here I am going to give that Maven. Suppose I want to install that Maven 3.4, 3.8.4. Select that 3.8.4 and give the name Maven 3.8.4. So like this guys, n number of Maven versions you can configure it. Not a problem at all. Right, see here various versions are there. Based on your requirement, you can select it. So this name, your wish, whatever the name you want, We can give that one. Okay, save it. So now we have configured two versions. So we need to mention that which Maven version we need to use for this job, right? So for that one, click on this job, click on configure, just scroll down. See here, Maven version. So automatically it is going to take that default. What do you mean by default here? Default means whatever the Maven version which we have installed in the Linux server, but we didn't install. We'll get an error if you don't select any other version. What we are going to select? We are going to select it Maven 3.8.5. Select this one. Click on save. So now, if you go and do the build, it is going to work. So click on build now. Click on build now. So now, if you click on this job, the build number, click on console output. If you see, right, what is happening? It is downloading that all the dependencies, whatever it is required. Right. Just observe. See here, it is downloading all the dependencies. So it is taking some time because very first time, right? It is doing the build. So it is going to download that what are the dependencies we specified in the pom.xml. It is going to download. So first time it will take some time. And also observe, it is going to create a package. See, package has created. Take this one. Observe here. This is the package name, maven-web-application.war file. If you observe where it is created, so this is your Jenkins default home directory. Jenkins default home directory means here Jenkins software has installed. There you will see that one directory called as the workspace. Inside the workspace, if you observe with the job name, it has created one directory. So there it is going to keep that all the source code. Inside the this project job name, okay, it is created that directory called as target. So there this file has saved. Clear? So this is your Jenkins home directory. There you will see that workspace directory. This is a one directory. Inside this workspace directory, it has created one folder with the name, job name. There it is going to store the source code. Once if you do a build, already we know that package is going to create into that target directory. Clear? So after creating a package, what we have to do? We need to execute the SonarQube report. We need to execute the SonarQube report. Right. So if you want to execute the SonarQube report, what is the command which we are going to use? sonar:\sonar. Right. But we need to configure the SonarQube server details. Na? Where we are going to configure SonarQube server details? In pom.xml. So if you go to your job, first check that which repository we are using. Okay. So we are using that this repository. Right. So in this repository, you will see the pom.xml. This one. But make sure you have to update that correct pom.xml. So if you see, currently we are in the master branch. Are we using master branch now? No, right? We have to go to that development branch. First, select the development branch. So here, many times the people are doing mistake is they are going to update that next SonarQube server details in other branch, and they are saying that sir, it is not working. So whatever the branch you have used, go to that particular branch first. Then you will see that here pom.xml. Click on this pom.xml. Okay. So directly you can edit that file, and you see here you will see that edit icon. Click on this edit icon. Then scroll down. Here you will see that sonar.host.url. Just remove this SonarQube server URL and take this updated one till here. Okay, right. Then username. So guys, instead of using that username password, we can use that token. Already you guys knows, right, how to use the token. You guys can go ahead and use that token. Okay, so if you want, you can generate the token. Your wish. How? Go here, my account, security. So already one token is there. So if you want, you can check that token somewhere we saved here. No? Mhm. Didn't save. Okay, I will create it. Okay, just you can give any name and generate. Copy this one. Okay, so if you want, you can save it here. So now go to your repository. So this one you don't want now. When you are using token, you can use that sonar.login. Right. So I have given that SonarQube server URL and token. Then you can save it. You can commit changes. So now we have configured the SonarQube server details in the pom.xml. So now go to your job. Okay. Click on configure. Just scroll down. Here under goals, you can what you can do. You can give that sonar colon sonar. You can give that sonar colon sonar. Okay. Save it. So if you want to run this job, very simple. Click on build now. Click on build now. See, build number 3, build number 1 failed, build number 2 succeeded, and build number 3 is running. So like this, see, it is going to increment by 1. So build numbers are going to increment by 1. So if you want to see the logs, click on this build number or this timestamp, and you will see that console output one option. Click on this one. See, SonarQube report is executing. So it is executed successfully and build also successful. Now, if you go to your SonarQube server dashboard, click on this projects tab. See, it is showing. Just observe last analysis March 18th, 2022, 6:33 a.m. IST. Right. So like this, we can integrate the SonarQube server details and we can execute the SonarQube report without removing clean package. It will take sonar colon. See, we have configured that clean package sonar colon sonar. If you want to run only SonarQube report, then you can delete that clean and package goal. Clean and package goal. So Nikita is asking, sir, in organizations where we are going to use the PEM files stored. So here we are not using the PEM file, right? So PEM files, they are going to share with us. See, in the already I mentioned, right? In the real time, we are not going to have multiple AWS accounts, right? So we have only one AWS account. They are going to create that users in this account, they are going to share with us. So that is called as IAM, Identity Access Management. One service is there, okay? And they're going to provide that whatever the access level we want, okay? So now we have executed the SonarQube report. Now we need to upload that artifact into the artifact repository. So for that one, first we should have that repositories. So if you go and see, already repositories are there. So just click on sign in, give the username admin, then password only. So now if you go and see here, click on this snapshot. This is the repository, right? Another one is releases. Take this repository URLs. So now we are going to configure these repository details. Where we are going to configure? In the pom.xml. The pom.xml we are going to configure. So take this releases URL, repository URL, go here. So this is a pom.xml which is available in the development branch. So click on edit icon. So here, okay, this one. Remove this URL and also this one. See here, I have configured that releases repository and a snapshot repository. Then commit these changes. So now where I'm going to configure this Nexus credentials? Tell me in which file. So this repository details we have configured in the pom.xml. Nexus credentials we are going to store in the settings.xml. Settings.xml file. We are going to configure here. Right. So where I can find the settings.xml? Maven home directory. There you will see the conf directory. First, where I can find that Maven home directory? See, we have installed that Maven software through global tool configurations. Yes or no? We went to manage Jenkins and we clicked on global tool configurations and we have configured that Maven software. Right. So where that Maven software is going to store? So if you go to that Jenkins home directory, this is our Jenkins home directory, right? So inside the Jenkins home directory, you will see that one directory called as tools. Okay. So inside the tools directory, you will see that Maven software. So any software, if you install through global tool configuration, it is going to store under that tools directory, right? So go to that Jenkins home directory /var lib Jenkins. There you will see that tools directory. Inside the tools directory, you will see that Hudson.task. Go inside that one. If you see here, 3.8.5 is there. Sir, we have configured the two versions, 3.8.4 and 3.8.5. Then why it is showing only one? So when you are going to use very first time, that time it is going to download that related Maven software. But still we didn't use it that 3.8.4. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select 3.8.4. Save it. So now if you go and do the build, now it is going to download. So if you use first time, at least one time if you use, it is going to download that software. Right. Now if you go here, just type ls, observe that 3.8.4 version also it is there. Okay. So if you configure, but still if you didn't use, that related software is not going to be downloaded. Right. It is not going to be downloaded. So now which version we have configured with our repository, with our job? 3.8.4. So you have to go in which directory? 3.8.4 directory. So there you will see that conf directory. Inside the conf directory, you will see that settings.xml. So open the settings.xml and go to the which tag? Servers tag. Yes or no? Inside the servers tag, we are going to configure the server tag. Inside the servers tag, we are going to configure the credentials. So this is a closing for the servers tag. Just type I, it will come insert mode. Here you can enter. So here we have to configure that Nexus credentials. So if you want to configure the Nexus credentials, we are going to use that server tag, server opening tag, and server closing tag, server opening tag, and a server closing tag. So inside this one, we are going to use the ID tag, ID. So I'm going to give that Nexus, then username, username. So the username is admin. Close the username tag, then password. So the password is password only. So create this code snippet, this tags, and save here. Right before closing the servers tag, save it. Now if you go to your job, and one more thing before that, go ahead and remove that whatever it is there. Okay, so nothing is there because we have configured that cleanup policy, that's why it has deleted. Right. So now go to your job, click on configure. Okay. So here, what is the goal which we are going to use to upload that artifact into the artifact repository? Deploy. Deploy goal. Save it. Okay. Then click on build now. So build number 5, it is going to start. See build number 5. Click on this build number 5 and see console output. And also if you observe here, it is showing that no changes are there in this current build. So means in the GitHub repository, we didn't see any updates. So if you go to that build number 2, observe here. Here also it is showing no. Go to the build number 3. See, it is showing that changes. So we updated pom.xml. So that's why it is showing that update pom.xml directly in the GitHub GY. Right. So it will shows what are the files we updated. We got that in this particular build. Okay. So build number 5 is successful. If you want, you can go and see the console output. If you observe here, it is uploaded to the Nexus in the snapshot repository. Go here, click on the snapshot, observe here, it is uploaded. It is uploaded. Right. So like this, we can integrate that Nexus and we are going to upload. So now what is the next step? we need to deploy the application into the Tomcat server. We need to deploy the application into the Tomcat server. So if you want to deploy the application into the Tomcat server, first your Tomcat server should be up and running. So anyway, Tomcat server is running. See here, only the 5 default applications are there. And take this Tomcat server URL and we are going to configure. So for that one, first you have to install one plugin. So the plugin name is deploy to container. So without installing this particular plugin, you are not able to configure the Tomcat server. Without installing this plugin, you are not able to configure the Tomcat server. So right now, if you go to the job, click on configure, just scroll down. Under post build actions, see at the last, let's see post build actions. Click on this add post build action. You are not able to see that related to Tomcat, any option. After installing, if you come and see here, you will see that one. Okay. So how to install a plugin? So yesterday while installing Jenkins server, we have installed some plugins. Ne? Now, how to install it? This is my requirement now. I want to install this deploy to container plugin. So if you want to install plugin, click on manage Jenkins. Here you'll see that manage Jenkins, manage plugins, manage Jenkins, manage plugins. Click on this manage plugins. Here you will see that updates. Under updates tab, it is showing that no updates. What it is going to display here? So what are the plugins which you have installed already? If any updates are there, those updates it is going to display. Available tab. So this available tab contains that whatever the plugins which are available to install it. Install tab. So this plugin, this tab, it is going to display that whatever the plugins we have installed. See, while installing Jenkins server, we selected that install suggested plugins. See here, automatically these plugins are installed. So if you want to, you can uninstall also. If you see here, okay, so it is showing that enabled, right? So earlier, okay, here also it is there, uninstall. Earlier it was showing here uninstall one message. Now it is showing that this symbol, right? So if you want to uninstall, you can uninstall also these plugins, right? See this Git plugin, Gradle plugin, all these plugins are installed. So go to the, so now if you want to install any plugin, in which tab we have to go? Available tab. Click on this available tab. So here just you can search. So I'm going to search with the deploy to container. Just see, deploy to container. Automatically it has displayed. This plugin allows you to deploy a var to a container after successful build. Select this one. Click on install without restart. So it's installing. See? So deploy to container plugin has installed successfully. So now go back to our Jenkins server. Okay, dashboard. Click on that job. Click on configure. Just scroll down. Under post build actions, if you see here, you will see this option. Earlier, we were not able to see this option. Yes or no? After installing that plugin, we can able to see. Correct, na? After installing that plugin, we can able to see. select this one and deploy var here to a container. So we can deploy only the var file. So my var file is available in the target directory. Okay, so it is going to refer till here. Okay, it is going to refer till here. So that's why I'm going to give the 2 stars to refer these 2 directories, and the var file name is this one. And the context path, that is your wish. If you want, you can give, or if you don't want, you don't want to give. So if you don't want to give, no problem, you can leave this blank. If you don't give any context path, it is going to take that default one as the var file name, right? It will take that var file name. And add containers. Using this deploy to container plugin, we can deploy the application into that JBoss server, Glassfish server, Tomcat server. So just scroll down, you will see Tomcat 9.x. Select this version, and it is going to ask the Tomcat server URL. So already we copied na Tomcat server URL. Okay, then credentials. So we need to give the Tomcat server credentials. So right now, if you see under drop down, we don't have, right? So what we have to do? We have to add. So click on add Jenkins. So here give that username. So the username is Mithun Technologies, and password. So guys, you have to give that correct Tomcat server credentials, and under description you can give that Tomcat credentials. Okay, click on add. So now if you see under drop down, see here Tomcat credentials, you will see, right? You will see. Select this one. Click on save. So now if you trigger this job, if you click on this build now, click on build now, and if you go and see, build is triggered and the build number 6. So once if you trigger this build, what will happen? It will go to that Jenkins, it will go to that GitHub, it will get the code, then it will help of Maven, it will do the build, it will execute the SonarQube report, then it will upload the artifact into artifact repository, then it is going to deploy into that Tomcat server. Let's see whether it is going to do, or either it will do it or not, or if you get any error, what error we will get, how to fix it. If you observe here, it is failed or success. It's failed. So if you see that red color, means it is failed. So when it is failed, don't get scared. First you can go to that console output, see that what error we got. Okay, click on this console output, just scroll down, observe here, we got the error when failed to deploy this var file. When it is trying to deploy, we got the error. So just scroll down and read that error message caused by. So the user you provided is not allowed to use that text based Tomcat manager 403. What do you mean by 403 error code? Come on guys, already we discussed na? Forbidden. Thank you Satif. Shafiq. So means what do you mean by forbidden? So whatever the username you provided, for that username we don't have the access to deploy. So did you remember when we are creating a user in the Tomcat server, what are the roles which we allocated? Manager-GUI and admin-gy. Apart from this two, apart from these two, we have to give that other role, manager-script. Manager-script. Okay. So now connect to that Linux server where Tomcat server has installed, and go to that which file, guys? We need to open tomcat-users.xml file, which is available in the conf directory, right? So switch to the root user, go to the opt directory, Apache Tomcat conf directory. There you will see that tomcat-users.xml file. Just scroll down. If you see here, we have created one user, na? So the username is Mithun Technologies, password as password, and we have given the role manager-gy, admin-gy, comma manager-script. These two, now apart from these two, we have to add the manager-script role. Save it. Sir, how we can know this one? See, when you are getting this kind of error, just search in the Google. Okay, so you are going to see that this is one role. Manager-script is a one role, like manager-gy, admin-gy. So if you want to deploy the application through Jenkins server, you have to add that one. So now go to that Jenkins dashboard, click on this job and click on build now. So build number 7 started. Now definitely it is going to deploy the application. See, build as successful. If you want, you can go and check it. The console output. Observe here. Attempting to deploy one WAR files, because only one WAR file is there, right? And in Tomcat 9.x server, it has deployed successfully. Now you can go here, select this Tomcat, click on list tabs. Observe here, maven-web application. It has deployed, right? So if you want to access it, right click on this application, open link in new tab. See here, I can able to see. Right. So like this, guys, we can configure all these tools and we can do it. So this is one DevOps flow. So earlier we were following this kind of method, this kind of flow. So guys, people are asking, sir, when you are going to teach the real-time scenarios? So when I'm covering the topics, that time itself we are covering how we are going to use in the real time. This is also one of the real-time use case. See, you have a one project, you want to implement the DevOps methodology. However, we implemented. See here, just it is going to change the repository URL. That's all. The source code is going to be changed. The flow is same, guys. However, we configure all these things, it will be same. Just the flow is going to change. The repository URL is going to change. Right. And if you observe, right now, what we are doing, manually we are going and clicking on the job. Right. Manually, we are going here, and every time we are clicking on the build now, build now. So Mahesh is asking, this chain we are created GitHub Maven SonarQube mixes deployment rate. Yes, so whatever I showed here in this slide, that is the flow which we implemented. So instead of manually clicking on build now, okay, automatically this job has to trigger as soon as developer push the code. Is it possible? So Om Prakash is asking, JNE test cases, sir. See, if we use the term MVN package, what will happen? Before package, what are the goals are going to execute? Validate, compile, test. So right now there is no goals, there is no unit test cases. That's why you are not able to see the term the unit test cases, right? See what it is saying: no source to compile, no test to run, right? So still we didn't generate the test report. So for that one, we'll see which plugin we are going to use, how we can install that plugin, how we can generate the report. Okay, clear guys? So far, whatever we discussed. So now we are going to discuss about that, how to automate that, automate the build trigger process. Automate the build trigger process. Instead of manually triggering that job, I want to automate. As soon as developer push the code, as soon as developer push the code, okay, it has to trigger this job. So we can use three ways: full SCM, then build, build periodically. Third one is GitHub webhook, GitHub webhook. Okay, so we are going to use any one of these three options based on our requirement, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use that first full SCM. I'm going to use that full SCM first. So for that one, go to your job, click on configure. So guys, if you want to update that existing configurations, you have to click on that configure. Then scroll down. If you see that one option called as build triggers. Under build triggers, you will see one option called as full SCM. Click on this one, full SCM. So here it is going to ask that schedule 10. My requirement is every minute. So how we are going to represent every minute? 5 stars separated by space. For last star, don't give the space. So now if you give that 5 stars, it will consider as a every minute. It will consider as a every minute and save it. So now what will happen? Whatever the time interval we have configured, na, that particular time interval, every time Jenkins will go to the GitHub and it is going to check whether updated code is there or not. On what basis it is going to identify whether updated code is there or not? Based on the commit ID. If you see, if you go to your job, any version, any build number, click on this build number. If you see here, it is going to get that commit ID along with the source code. So your Jenkins will take this commit ID and it will go to that GitHub server and it is going to compare whatever the GitHub server having that commit ID and Jenkins having. If both are same means, what are the Jenkins and GitHub is having both commit ID means, do you have updated code? No changes. Okay. If both are different means, then you will confirm yes, some updated code is there. Right. So now, if you see, what is the last commit ID? 7. In this 7, so this is the commit ID, right? So E6 DF47A. If you go and see here, okay, E6 DF47A. So both commit IDs are same. If both commit IDs are same means it is not going to trigger this job. Okay, what I'm going to do? I'm going to update some code so that commit ID is going to change. Right. So directly I'm going to update the code here. So in the development branch, if you see SRC main, click on this one, Java web app, this web app, and JSP, home.jsp. Because of this home.jsp, we can see that some code here, the pages. So now click on this code snippet, home.jsp, then click on edit icon. So here I am going to change welcome to Mithun Software Solutions. Okay, so here I am going to change that whole SCM demo, and we have a DevOps master program demo on April 16th at 7 p.m. for new batch. So this is a weekdays batch. So the batch timings will be like 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Okay, the batch timings will be 6 a.m. to 7:30. So you may have questions, sir. My batch is going to over in November, April 16th. No, so I'm going to complete my portion. So other trainer is going to take that AWS, then Docker, Kubernetes, those three topics. Okay, so I'm going to start the new batch. Just commit these changes, and if you go and see this development branch, see whatever right now that commit ID, it is different with the Jenkins. So definitely it is going to trigger the build. After 1 minute, if you go and see, build is going to trigger. So if you go and see here, you can this job number, job name, you can wait some time. See here, build number 8 triggered automatically. And if you observe, build number 7 started by user within technologies, means manually we trigger that job. But if you see the build number 8, click on console output. See here, started by an SCM change. Started by an SCM change. Means some changes are there in the SCM, so automatically build as triggered. So whatever the schedule time we have configured, that particular schedule time, every time Jenkins will go to the GitHub and it is going to check is there any updated code is there or not. If updated code is there, then only it is going to trigger. Otherwise, it is not going to trigger. Yes or no? In this poll SCM, it is going to trigger only if changes are there in the GitHub. Otherwise, it is not going to trigger. So now 1 minute is over and it is not going to trigger. If you go and see, only the build number 8 only. Even if you wait 1 hour also, build is not going to trigger. Why? Because if changes are there, then only it is going to trigger in the pool SCM. So clear about this one, pool SCM? So now we'll discuss about that build periodically. So now if you go to your job, go to that build triggers. Okay. So I'm going to disable this one now. Then select that build periodically. So here also I am going to give that 5 stars separated by space. Okay. For the last star, don't give the space. So now you can save it. So if you observe here, now what will happen? Build is going to trigger every minute. Let's wait. See, build has triggered. And also you can observe that. Click on this build number 9. And also you observe here, started by timer. So started by timer. For this one we are going to see. So for this one, started by an SCM change. Started by an SCM change. Right. So like this, full SCM build periodically. Now tell me, what is the difference between full SCM and build periodically? This is one of the interview question. What is the difference between full SCM and build periodically? So in the full SCM, whatever the time interval we have provided, that particular time interval is going to check in the repository. If any updates are there, it is going to trigger. If we don't have any updates, it is not going to trigger. Right. But in the build periodically, whatever that time we have configured, that particular time build is going to trigger. Build is going to trigger, even though there is no updates. Now you can go and see here. See here, build number 9, 10. So like that 11, it is going to continuously, it is going to trigger. Clear, guys? Anybody have any questions so far? Whatever we discussed. See, build number 9, 11 also. So if you want, you can stop it. How? Go to the build triggers. Disable that build periodically. Save it. Right. So now onwards, build is not going to trigger. So how many jobs are there in your Jenkins? Is your Jenkins going to run multiple jobs or only one job? See, n number of jobs are there. So we are in the same Jenkins server. We have created that CD for other projects also. Multiple jobs are there. So at a time, by default, only 2 jobs are going to run. Okay, only 2 jobs are going to run. Why? Because the number of executors is 2. If you want, you can increase also. But by default, at a time, 2 jobs are going to run. Clear? So instead of every time minute, how we can run in particular time? like every at night. So for that one also you can configure in the cron tab. So if you know the cron tab very well, the syntax, you can do it this one easily. So Praveen is asking, sir, whatever that question Harsha asked me, my doubt also even I'm also having. What is the Harsha question? For your GitHub branches, how many pipeline jobs are there? That pipeline jobs, it's a depends on your project, right? For each project, we are going to create that dev environment pipeline, QA, right? N number of pipelines we are going to create it. Okay, sir. In real time, there will be multiple jobs. Yes, multiple jobs will be there. Hundreds of jobs will be there. In the same Jenkins server, n number of DevOps engineers are going to log in and they are going to create the jobs. So how many nodes are there in your current Jenkins? Just tell them six nodes are there. So still we didn't discuss about that one. Okay, master slave architecture, that slaves will come. Sir, how do you recommend us to practice Jenkins as we don't have that source code of Maven web application in our GitHub, right? So we have package in Maven. So Baya Harsha, if you see already I told you guys to go to this repository, you can fork it, right? Don't directly use my Jenkins this GitHub URL. Why not? You guys don't have that update access. What you guys can do, go to this repository and click on fork, get your own copy, and you can do it this one. Yes, sir. What is the maximum limit of parallel jobs in Jenkins? By default, it is 2. If you want, you can increase it also. Okay. So we'll continue other topics in tomorrow. That GitHub webhook, it is very very important. Then we'll discuss about that some more options, and we'll discuss about that Jenkins directory structure and all. Clear, guys? See now, just as soon as developer push the code, so automatically build is going to trigger. Correct, na? It's end-to-end automation. Earlier, manually we're downloading the code, we're executing GitHub commands, and we're executing the Maven commands, right? And we are going to deploy. So like this, we are going to do the end-to-end automation. Yes. Okay. Yes. Tomorrow class is there at the same time. Okay. So that we'll complete some more points and we'll finish that one flow end to end with all the options. Clear? Thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.